Welcome. I'm Purpose Fulfillment Guide and author Rosalind Elena McGrath. And today we're talking about what happens inside the Flourish Your Purpose Center. Now, this is a virtual center where people have an opportunity to really make breakthroughs to create more fulfillment with their healing visionary purpose. And of course, everyone has their unique path, the stage of that path, and the specifics to their purpose, their goals. I thought you might be interested to see how this unfolded with one particular client. So I'm going to go to screen share to really dive into the particulars of one of my clients' evolution through this process. So this was a male, about 30 years old, and he was really unhappy about not living his life authentically. He wanted guidance and accountability for bringing his gifts to the world. He had a strong desire to focus on service to others as part of a team, spreading spirit and health. He wanted to improve his relationships, overcome his addiction to pornography, and feel free to explore really being himself. So at this point, he was at a job that didn't use much of his potential or gifts. He'd learned energy healing 3 years before and had some good experiences and results working with others, but he hadn't continued with consistency despite his strong interest. He was making enough money to meet his needs and was able to keep increasing the money he had in savings, but he had significant fears about running out of money. In his relationship area, well, with family, he was unhappy with his relationships with his mom and his brother, and he was living with them. And he felt he didn't know how to be in balance with himself when he was around his mom, in particular. Now, if you can relate to that, please give a note in the comments, right? Oftentimes we have old patterns, and certainly the more we're in proximity to people that we have old patterns with, the more potential there can be for that to get triggered, unless there has been some significant reworking going on. Romantically, he'd been in a long-term relationship during which he regularly cheated on his girlfriend. He really regretted this behavior. He was single at the time, intending to stay so, and focusing on himself rather than being with a partner or with his old buddies. With his relationship with himself, he had significant difficulty that he noted with commitment, a tendency to procrastinate. He felt his soul and body were not fully in alignment. He was really dissatisfied with his addiction to pornography, unhappy with how he'd handled his prior long-term romantic relationship. And he noted his tendency to look outside of himself and get in his own way. So overall, he had a desire to connect with what people really have inside of them and are capable of, was how he put this to me. Spiritually, he had a really strong desire to align with divine order and be of service. And this is common with many of the clients that I work with. He enrolled in the basic level of the Flourish Your Purpose Center membership, which includes 6 monthly customized one-to-one sessions. So the first session focused on issue clearing. He received insights on his family relationships and shifted root energies related to his challenges with finances, relationships, self-trust, and self-empowerment. The second session We worked with soul body fusion, which brings more of your soul's energy into your body mind system, and your life. He experienced shifts in his energy field and also noticed improvements in his family relationships since his first session. The third session was circuitry alignment, which is a real profound process of bringing your soul's pattern more fully into all the systems of your body. Now, typically, this is a very non-conscious sort of process for clients, and the results build over time. At this point, he procrastinated with scheduling. And this does sometimes happen with circuitry alignment. Some part, right? There can be unconscious resistance that comes up. As he described later, he was losing faith, which he also noted was typical of his pattern with commitment, in which he would begin with a lot of enthusiasm and then lose interest. Now, the fourth session was a real turning point here with his Akashic, his soul record reading. He reported that, first off, that porn no longer interests him. And the info and the energy shared in this session profoundly improved his sense of self and his awareness of and ability to access his gifts. The fifth session was a spiritual team reading. And he spoke of many positive changes happening and his appreciation of our work together. And this reading built upon information shared in his previous session, and provided support for his current life situation. And in his sixth session, he received some intuitive coaching. He described many positive results he had through our work together, discussed his current situation and plans, and received intuitive guidance to support him in moving forward with those. He also received a bonus integration session, which is part of Flourish Your Purpose Center membership. And he acknowledged the many shifts he'd made and was also given suggestions for continued support of his goals. So this is some of the feedback that I received from this client, that working with me allowed him to understand what his gifts are and allowed them to flow through him with ease. He said, I had been working in jobs that didn't use my full potential. I now have the courage to share myself with the world, and I'm working on building a website and business plan for myself. I've been doing body work, energy healing, and receiving amazing feedback from my clients. I'm excited to share my gifts. I feel more connected to the world around me, and I'm listening more to the guidance I receive from the universe. Regarding his career, he said, I quit my job at the hospital when we started working last summer. I'm glad I decided to finally quit. Shortly after that, I started working for my aunt and helping her out with her food manufacturing business in Detroit. It was only temporary, but during that time I was working for her, I realized I need to work for myself and pursue my healing gifts. I now have the courage to share myself with the world, and I'm working on building a website and business plan. I've been doing body work, energy healing, receiving amazing feedback from my clients. I'm excited to share my gifts. Regarding finances, he reported, I've invested in becoming a Kambu practitioner, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, Thai massage therapist, and added more skills to my toolkit to help other people. I also have my first ceremony planned in Puerto Rico in 2 weeks, and we have 10 people joining us. So I'm finally able to start putting my skills to use, and I'm very excited to share my medicine during this ceremony. From a material standpoint, my finances have not changed that much, but from an experiential standpoint, I am rich. I have shared some deep cleansing experiences with people over these past months, and it has been more rewarding than any financial gain ever could. Regarding relationships, he reported that tension has eased up tremendously from the work we've done together, and also because I've been living my own separate life and not living in the same energy field as them. I appreciate them more for who they are, and I'm able to communicate with them in a more loving and respectful way. Regarding romance, he said, I had an interesting but short and intense partnership with someone in Costa Rica for a few months. I feel like because of the work we had been doing, I was able to be fully honest with my partner as well as with myself. I had more awareness during that experience and could truly see the patterns that were showing up both for both her and me. It feels like I'm able to have more discernment with who I share my energy. Regarding his relationship with himself, he said, I've been more honest and loving with myself. I've learned not to be so judgmental and become more accepting of my past and present actions. And this has really helped me to love all aspects of myself and find beauty in my past mistakes. I also feel more confident and calm overall. I truly feel I'm on the right path, being of service to the world. Overall, I feel like I've been able to connect with others on a deep and profound level, also from a place of authenticity and truth, not from a place of ego or desire. I feel like people are able to connect with the real me and see me for who I am. It's as if they can feel the love in my heart radiating from inside me. It's a beautiful feeling. Regarding spirituality, he reported this area has had a drastic change since we started working. During my Akashic reading, I was told enlightening information about my soul and my gifts. I have since experienced these gifts a few times now, and each time I am still in awe. Working with Rosalind has allowed me to understand what these gifts are and allow them to flow through me with ease. I'm excited to share these gifts more and use them more frequently. I feel more connected to the world around me, and I am listening more to these messages or guidance I receive from the universe. I know I need to devote more time to meditation and start writing more. It is important to give myself space to refill my energy and ground myself. And I have learned that after working with Rosalind. Now, my personal observations in the blessing of working with this person is that I saw him grow significantly more confident and happy and begin to take initiative and follow through on his goals and increasing his self-understanding. I witnessed him improve his relationship with himself and others, become clearer about and more trusting of his inner guidance, and saw him invest in himself rather than being gripped by money fears as he'd been in the past. And this enabled him to develop a powerful toolkit of healing services. So, as was initially indicated by his clarity call with me, I always do a clarity call to make sure that the other person and I are really a good match for working together, that the goals, the types of modalities that I use, that these are in alignment. And so, as indicated by that clarity call, the membership did indeed meet his needs and came to exceed his expectations. And the client expressed much gratitude and requested information on possibilities for working together in the future. And so just going to hit the stop share here. So this is one example of how this work can unfold, right? It certainly is unique, as I said previously, for each person. And there is this back and forth between the inner and the outer that I think is really crucial to the kind of results that the people I work with desire. And so, someone could look on the surface and say, well, the Akashic, right? Maybe all he needed was the Akashic reading. However, cleaning up those relationships and bringing in more of his soul energy and soul pattern into his life experience, that opened the door to a really profound reading of his soul records, because any reading may look like the channel is the one who is doing it. And it's actually a very mutual process. It's just not in as tangible form from the side of the client, of the person receiving the reading. Our energies are working together. And so to be at that jumping off place where we could go that deep and that fully into his records, right? Because we always move in respect for the highest good and greatest possibility for each person at that moment. So every part of that's why monthly sessions, having that time to integrate the work and be at that new place to get the most out of the next session, having that minimum of the 6 sessions is really essential for the power of this work. If you'd like to learn more about this, you're welcome to schedule a clarity call with me. You can also find out more about how this work may relate to you and more of what is behind it with a free masterclass coming up, Mastering the Challenge of Being a Highly Sensitive Healer in an Out of Balance World. If you go to the events page of my website, empoweringlightworks.com/events, you can register there. Or you can use the link in the comments below. And I would love the opportunity to connect with you a little bit more personally. And of course, if you would prefer one-on-one through a clarity call, you can schedule that as well. I will leave the information below. And I want to thank you so much for being here, for being you, for taking this deep dive into this example with me. And I want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste, and many blessings to you.